wasn't sure how bad this side was leaking. Look at that. Wow. Welcome back to Horseplay Motoring. So guys, there's one thing, or maybe multiple things, wrong with your car right now, is there not? It can be simple. It can be a rattle. It can be a squeak. It's something that you're just not putting the effort in finding or dealing with or fixing. And you know what? The car is less desirable to drive. I find with my car, I have the rack and pinion is leaking. And when I say leaking, I meant like you take off the boot, it pours out. So, I find myself driving my truck 90% of the time. It's just why drive my car. It's just not that fun. It wanders across the road. It's just one of them things. I just don't have the motivation. Then you watch somebody like Brutal's channel, and he pretty much says, listen, sometimes you just got to get off your ass and do things. So, finally got up the motivation, got off my rear end, and replaced that steering rack right there that is 24 years old now. Stock steering rack, gushing fluid, terrible. It never should have took me this long. I've had that part for probably over a year now from Mustang Parts Reaper. Alright, got this steering rack in the vise, got the clamps off so I can see. This is what they call the limiter. A lot of people take them out for drifting and stuff. I got this line undone. Next, I got to undo this line right here. And I'm going to take the inner and outer tie rods off and get it ready to clean up and probably paint it. I don't know. Alright, so when I take the one out of the car, I'm going to put it up very similar to this. You got to make sure you don't crush these lines. And I'm going to leave the outer on so my alignment is correct, because I know this is screwed all the way in. And I'm just going to use a wrench, an adjustable wrench, and a hammer, and you can break it free that way. So you can keep all that on together, and then when I put it back together, you can see these are bad. So I put my good ones on, and that should help solve a lot of issue. Now that I found middle, I'll put some gloves over the end to kind of block that. I put the two open ports face down because water don't flow up. I'm going to spray it down with the Super Clean and scrub this bad boy up. Just a few seconds with my Super Clean and my brush. And this thing's looking pretty daggone good. Just shove some paper towel in there. That's what that is. I didn't have any tape, but yeah, this thing cleaned up quite well. So I can't wait. Still tossing around the idea of painting it. I don't know. I think it'd look good underneath there, painted and maybe black so it didn't show up. You look under there and it's just hidden. But black would also hide a leak, so I don't know. We'll see. Got it cleaned up and sprayed down with some primer. Let that dry, and I'm going to just rattle can it black. Nothing special. That's about all there is to it. Alright, I'll move it over here where I could hang it up some. That's about 6 or 7 light coats, and then I went over kind of a medium coat. If we could keep the love bugs out of it, that'd be great. But that's where we're sitting right now. I did tape off the spline there so it's easier to slide on. And you can still see I got some spots up in here that I got to get. But all in all, I think it's turning out pretty good. I'm happy with it. Alright guys, let's see if I can talk loud enough to drown out the music in the background, because my neighbors insist on blaring their truck to the, I don't know, like they're having a damn concert over there. Regardless, this is why I'm changing mine. I don't know how well you can see that, but yeah, that's all it's leaking in the sill right here, which what that does is it causes uneven pressure. It leaks past the sill and you start getting wandering because it don't have the pressure Basically how power steering works is it puts one side pressure and it'll push the wheel, push the other side pressure. Well, if that pressure bleeds off, then the wheel kind of drifts back. So mine is leaking really good over here. I don't know about over here. I don't think it is, but it's leaking enough here that I had to add some fluid. So I'm going to go ahead and just replace this. All right, so right here, this is your steering shaft. Undo the screw and then tap this off, and then you'll be able to slide this off after you get these bolts out. These was, I believe, 18 millimeters on mine. I don't remember, but yeah, you take these bolts out and slide them out, and then undo your shaft, and you can pull this out, and then you can undo the lines. Got it out. This is the side that was leaking. I wasn't sure how bad this side was leaking. Look at that. Wow, that is that's a lot of leakage in there. That's where I got all this trouble from, inconsistencies in pressure. It's a lot of stuff in there. So let's go ahead and get these inner out with the outer, so I can put them on the other one and keep my alignment right. It's important to note what side it comes off of, just to be on the safe side. Alright, so while at that one, the paint cure, I set the end links on both sides to make sure I had it right. Just didn't want to confuse the sides. And yeah, so I'm going to let that cure overnight, and then I'll put the hoses on. One thing I do want to note, the hoses only go on one way. So, not sure how well y'all can see that, but this one is slightly bigger than this one. So you can't cross the hoses. These sills you can get at Advance or O'Reilly's in the help section. And it's just power steering sills. So that's really all you need. I always keep some of these. You see where it says Ford. Make sure you get the Ford ones. But I always keep some of these. They're like, I don't know, $3. So when you buy some, buy 2 or 3 if you can afford it. Even more if they have it, because you never know when you're going to tear one putting it on, or realize that you need to replace another one, because it's the same sill for the line that goes into the bottom of your power steering pump also. So, or the same, yeah, same sill. So I believe all of these have a seal at the bottom that's different than the sills here, but we'll see. Also, speaking of these lines, these are the transfer lines. You do not need to take these off when you take the power steering off or transfer it. My other one had them lines on there. So these, I will, before I throw this away or send it off to have rebuilt, whatever, I'll probably take these off to have backups. But like I said, they're not attached to anything. It's just to transfer the fluid from one side to the other. So you do not need to take these off, only the outside ones. So if you're under the car, it'll be the driver's side two that have to come out. Okay, so I got a box sitting underneath there. So when I bring this over, it won't be on the concrete, and it'll be up enough I can start the lines. I took the bushings and lubed them up and cleaned them up so they'll be easier to slide in. I just used some silicone, and yeah, we'll get them slid in and get that mounted, and then I'll show y'all from there. All right, guys, with it running, make sure the level was full, turn the wheel back and forth. Before I ever started it, I turned the wheel full lock back and forth probably 6 times each side, and then I started it up and I went under. I looked for leaks. There's absolutely no leaks, so everything down there is good. And I think I got it bled up here. Everything's turning how it should. So the next step is to get the wheels on and go for a ride and see if it fixes some of that travel. But I don't have any leak anywhere. That's just from where the lines was already dropped. Yeah, I'm pretty excited with this right now. All right, guys, got the wheels back on, got it lowered, got it ready to go on a test drive. Probably won't record a test drive since I'm just going right around the block. But when I get back, I'll give y'all an update on how it feels. All right, guys, I lied. I took y'all along for the ride, but power steering wasn't fully bled, so I had to come back and bleed it, and I figured I would record this process of driving. But any little input now, the car moves. That was never a thing before. Like, I had quite a bit of play. I did the pins, and the plate initially was gone, like when you're parked, but when you're driving, you hit a bump, it would still wander. It's not doing that now. It feels nice and solid. It's how I expect it to drive. It's not snatching me. It's not walking all over the road, pulling me everywhere. That's literally all the play I have now. And that's, hell, my mom's brand new Acadia has that much. So I'm pretty excited. It's very bumpy right here. See the patches in the road? I'm going to hit them. Yeah, the car's not walking. It didn't pull me any direction. It didn't walk or wander any which way. I don't know why I procrastinated so long at doing this. Okay, guys, one of the bleeding processes I want to go over is the Hydro Boost. A lot of people, there's a nipple on 90% of them. I have seen some that didn't have one. So what I do to make sure that's all bled is, instead of getting out and cracking that, one thing I found that works very efficient for me is if I push the brake all the way to the floor, I mean as hard as I can push it, no more, and then turn the steering wheel lock to lock probably 10-15 times, let go of the brake, turn the steering wheel, lock the lock about 15 times back and forth, hold the brake and do it. You'll notice, keep the cap off and look, everybody says, oh, it's introducing oxygen, it's introducing air. No, it's not. It would have to suck it in, and it don't suck. So you can leave the cap off. You can see it'll foam. It'll look like froth almost. So many little micro bubbles coming up. So you want to keep doing that until there is no more. So I thought all of mine was gone. I'm backing out, and it gets to spots where it'll snatch the wheel like really hard. Like, well, the wheel's locked. It won't go any further than that. But anyway, it'll snatch the wheel, and it'll make you think, oh crap, something's wrong. And then the power steering started, and I get out and look, and it's dropped down to where, because it passed the bubbles around. So like I said, you just hold the brake to the floor, lock to lock. You'll notice the difference with the brake all the way to the floor, lock to lock, versus brake off, lock to lock. It's easier to go without the brake because the Hydro Boost is actually using some of your pressure in your power steering fluid. That's how that system works. For those of you who don't know, your power steering pump provides fluid to the Hydro Boost, which acts as a hydraulic pressure. So when you push the brake, it's actually the power steering that's doing the work. Yeah, little tip there. So that's pretty much it. LMR has a great video on pulling the power steering rack and putting it in. I did it the way I did it, with taking the whole inner and outer out, so I didn't lose my alignment. My alignment felt great driving down the road. It wouldn't pull in or feeling weird on either side. So I'm extremely excited how that turned out. But if you need new inner and outers, take everything off, put it on, and then go your best estimate and drive to the shop, get it aligned. You don't have to anyway, so might as well make it easier on yourself by taking it all apart and putting it on in a small unit like that right there. Now how this is broke down, this is a lot easier to get in. Now the one problem I did have is I have the oil cooler on mine. So with these, it hits it, you have to rotate that in and get it up in there, and then you set the bushing in place and tap it in and it'll slide in. But I mean, it's pretty easy to figure out. If I can figure it out, a caveman could figure it out, you know, just like the Geico commercials. I don't know why I've been putting this off so long. Mustang Parts Reaper hooked me up with that steering rack, geez, I don't know, probably a year ago, if not more. Yeah, it's been a while. I still lived over in Norman Beach, and yeah, I've been sitting on that power steering rack for a good while now. So did the bump steer kit and all that, and I noticed it was leaking You just got to get to it. Guys, a lot of this stuff is just get off your ass and do it, you know. I have to tell myself that all the time. My wife has to tell me that with the house. Hey, get off your ass, clean up, you know, because I need to hear that. One of my favorite channels is Brutal, Fox Body channel. And Brutal will preach this till he's blue in the face, but sometimes you just got to get out there and get it done. Yeah, I didn't get a lot recorded, but I got work done. I got something that needed to be done, and now the car is more enjoyable, and I'm not in this, I don't want to drive this, I'm tired of this car. I'm in a, man, it feels good. I got something else done. My motivation's up, my spirit's up. What do I tackle next? That's where I'm at. So stay motivated, get off your ass, get busy, and I hope y'all enjoy this. If y'all don't, lower your standards. That's all I can tell you. Thanks for watching. This is Horseplay. Peace.
I won't turn around, I done made it this far. Look back now, that wouldn't be too smart. Shoot for the stars even when it gets hard. Put my faith in the Lord with these 16 bars. I won't turn around, I done made it this far. Look back now, that wouldn't be too smart. Shoot for the stars even when it gets hard. Put my faith in the Lord with these 16 bars. I won't turn around, I won't turn around. No matter how far I go, I'll never come down.